This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let's go. Get on your mark, let's go. What you waiting for? There's so much more. Yeah. The future's yours. Let go, explore. It's yours for sure. Sing with me with fear. So to God I stay near. I keep my hand to the plow. There's no turning back now. My future look bleak. I decided to see. He said follow me. On a journey you'll see. Get on your mark, let's go. What you waiting for? There's so much more. Good evening and welcome to Sunday night. This is Lessons from the Journey, Making the Brand Masterclass. I am the host of Lessons from the Journey and the creator of the entire anthology. And as you've seen for the last 4 weeks, I got my partner, my ride or die, Marina Vila, who's gonna drive the bus in a few minutes after I get done with the introduction. I hope your weekend was great. Because mine's been eh. Anytime a brand is being made, it has these periods of eh. And what means is it's this weird period of transition before you become the next version of yourself. And I'm going through that process in real time. That's what this is all about. So I won't lie to you and I won't pretend. Yeah, right now it's a little bit of eh. So let me recap what has happened over the first 3 weeks that brings us to week 4. First week, we dealt with the first core parts of making a brand. We dealt with the brand blueprint. We dealt with vision. We unpacked the vision and the mission. Why is the vision so important? You can never become yourself without God giving you the vision or a higher power or whatever you believe in or ascribe to that created you. But that vision has to be felt, experienced, and then lived out. Then we talked about the mission, which is broken down into 2 sides. Your root mission, which roots you to this planet. It's why you are here. It can't be shaken. It can't be shifted because it's why you're here. Then we talked about the core mission. The core mission shows the actions that your brand will take as a result of the root mission and your reason for being. In week 2, we unpacked motives. That was a crazy week, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
hard. Yeah. See, motives aren't playing with you because it gets down to your why. And if you're going to be yourself, you are going to have to unpack your why. Remember, we're all brands made by God to fulfill a purpose on the earth, but without knowing your why, it's really hard to stay the course through the challenging and the rocky times. And then last week, I have to laugh because I'm always going to be very honest with you. Lessons from the Journey is about being unfiltered and unscripted. And last week when we were done, Marina goes, "Wow, what was wrong with you? You seemed a little bit on edge. Why did you say?"
There was something last week where in terms of like feeling your energy, you were just going at something. You were just going at something. And I felt that during our show last week. And I was a little taken back. Like, what is happening? What is happening
Everybody's
today?
gonna go run watch it
I
now. Like, what
know.
was the beef? What was the beef?
There was no beef. There was just something like your week culminated.
Yeah.
Your week culminated at our show last week, and I felt that. I
Yeah.
felt that coming off of you.
The methods are so. I feel like I'm about to cry right now because the methods are my solutions.
Yeah. Yes.
right? And they're solutions to very painful things that I've been through. And out of the pain, these methods arose.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of what we're going to talk about today as we talk about metrics is the core wound.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, a lot of times before I do a show, or especially this masterclass show, a core wound has been pricked or poked. And last week that happened
Yes.
right before I came to do this. And I thought I was hiding it well, right? I thought I had it under control. But when you called me out,
Yes.
right? I knew right there I couldn't hide. That's the core of the SLB brand though. As a family and as an organization, nobody's going to let anybody stay hiding,
Right.
right? It's just not what we do. And it is about being a family, a functional family that where you are safe to be yourself and you're safe to feel what you feel yet know what you know so that you can grow. It's not a place where you get to come and just crap all over
Right.
everybody. But
Right.
it is a place where you get to come and say, I have this pain. I have this hurt and I don't know how to deal with it. Is there a method for me? So last week was serious for me. It
Mm-hmm.
was the articulation of my babies. It was the articulation of my medicine. The
Yes.
methods are my medicine. And this week as we talk about metrics, I have to say metrics is the revelation of my dreams.
Yes. So you mentioned something a little bit earlier, core wound and metrics. Can you tell the audience a little bit more of how these correlate together?
Well, the core wound for me this week, the core wound is driving, right? To me, the core wound today is driving the bus. And for when we talk about metrics, one of the things in my core wound is a fear of succeeding, is a core wound. So then when we start talking about metrics is all about setting goals for
Yes.
success, right?
Yes.
Right. So when I woke up today and I was like, oh my God, I'm confronting my core wounds of fear of success. Like that this thing could actually work, that the 8 years that I put into this, we're now about to put my dreams on blast,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
about to put what I see on the table,
Right.
right? And then for everybody to ridicule and say, is this going to happen? Can this happen? Because some of these metrics feel absolutely astronomical to me, and in some cases almost impossible.
Can you talk a little bit more about that, um, in terms of like how did you get to that point, and what were some of those metrics that you felt that were possible and impossible?
Yeah, it's so funny. So when I got the vision, remember going back to vision, I was on an airplane from in South Africa from Durban to Johannesburg. And while I was on the plane, I just started hearing instructions. Like it's like I'm talking to you. And so I started writing them down. And initially when it got to the financial number,
Okay.
I heard 20 million per region.
Okay.
And there's 12 regions. And but I was afraid to write it. So
Okay.
I wrote 2 million, right? Now remember, this is 2023. So it isn't until about a year later that I'm walking through these metrics and walking through this blueprint that I hear the voice of God say, the only reason I let you settle on 2 million per region because you wouldn't believe me for what I see, which is 20 million plus.
Okay.
But you wouldn't believe me for that. So let's talk about core wound.
Yes, let's talk
Back to
about that.
core wound.
Let's go back to that.
So as a child, as we've talked about, I had a real issue with lack, right? So I was always grinding and hustling and having to work really hard for everything I got. And there's this core wound that says you're unworthy of wealth. Yes, I know it. It's so sad. Oh, I can't stand it. But there's a core wound in me that says you're not worthy of your dreams coming true. Yeah, God said it, but it's not going to help happen for you. So metrics is so scary to me because inside myself there's metrics that I know and see, but I'm afraid
Yes.
to even write it down.
Yes.
Because then I'm held accountable to what I see or what I said. And then it's one thing to write it down, but then once you say it,
Right.
and you say it to people, I'm that person's like, I got to prove it. I got to prove it to myself. I got to make this happen. And I can't make these metrics happen. Not like that. I can only be obedient to my part. There's a team of 30 people plus my 23 all
Yep.
stars. So it's 55 of us. But for some reason, I feel this intense pressure and this fear that I'm going to make it fail. And that's the truth. I mean, I told you today I needed to be super honest
Right.
about this, but that's the truth
So that's your truth as in the moment.
in the moment.
But can you also take us through, and you touched on it a little bit more of the instructions and what you've heard. How has that developed and evolved?
Oh my gosh, not only like, let's just talk about the music piece.
Okay.
When I was on that plane in 2023, I had written the Lessons from the Journey song.
Okay.
That was the only song I had. I had the Rescue Mission music title. I had that information, but I had no music team.
All right.
And one of the things in the manifesto was your music team is being put together for you. When I got back within a few months, I had met Brendan Reddy. I had met Craig Carlisle.
Yeah.
Craig had introduced me to people like Anthony Daughtry. I had started really working with Teresa Taylor. And so, just like he said, the music team was born. And then the process of developing the project started. And it was a whole nother set of circumstances and things I had to fight through and go through. So when I say rescue mission, it really is a rescue mission. But everything that I'm doing was in that manifesto, from the partnering with the networking organizations. That was in the he said you're gonna partner with networking organizations that care about uniting and changing the world. Here comes Tapestry. Here comes Girl Power Alliance. Here comes Boss Moms Enterprise, Boss
Right.
Bestie. Right? All I did was write down what I heard, and it just started to manifest. But it has taken time. You know, there's a metric, and I'm going to say it out loud, and it was given to me in 2024 when I was about to fly home from South Africa. And what I heard him say is, you're going to create Shawneeville sustainable cities. The first Shawneeville sustainable city is going to be created in the Lanseria area of South Africa, Johannesburg. And you're going to partner with AWS on that. And then he said, but it won't be fast because I'm a runner and I'm a rusher. So when, yeah, I'm a rusher. So when God gives me something, when I learned this week in talking to the General, Renee, I said, Renee, we launched off into some things that we heard God say, but we never stopped to find out how or why. We just heard, and then we started doing it on our own.
Okay.
And so metrics aren't my metrics. They're God's metrics. And they require me to be patient and to listen. That Shawneeville sustainable city is beautiful in my vision. It is a place where people are living well and growing, and the root system is expansive, and it's for families and it's for individuals. It is beautiful. But I can't make that come to pass. I have to trust God's timing, his process for that metrics to be realized. Does that answer the question?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
you talked about how what you've written has basically culminated.
Yeah.
And it's
It's
crazy.
manifesting.
It's manifesting. What else was in? Was there anything else?
Oh yeah, there was some really, really key points I want to bring out.
Okay.
He talked about how the conduct of the community is supposed to run.
Okay.
Right?
Let's go
He
into
told
that.
me to go to Colossians 3.
All right.
I got to get I'm going to read this to you real quick out of here. Colossians 3 was the foundational scripture that he gave me for this mission. And as I read that, I took it to be almost like a code of conduct, the foundations of why it exists. And let me read it to you a little bit. It says, He is your life. So right away, what he was saying is everybody's life is founded, grounded, and rooted in God.
Yes.
And when he is not at the center of it, life is off the rails. I know that to be true. So listen to what Colossians 3 says. So if you're serious about living this new resurrection life with Christ, act like it. Pursue the things over which Christ presides. Don't shuffle along, eyes to the ground, absorbed with the things right in front of you. Look up and be alert to what is going on around Christ. That's where the action is. See things from his perspective. I'm going to stop there. I had to see things from his perspective through all of this. He was like, watch your mouth. Make sure your team does too. They're representing me, not themselves. Be careful who you put in leadership. He said, make sure that they're mature. If they're not mature, put them in player roles and let them grow up in it. So this team and this organization, this belongs to God. And all along the way, he kept telling me, watch your ego. Watch your ego. It's
Okay.
not about you. Watch your ego. Well, your ego is constantly, my ego was constantly getting
Yes.
pounded
Yes.
because none of this arc has manifested and the world's never seen rain. But here I am. We're going to unite and change the world together. We're going to live well together. We're going to make these sustainable cities. We're going to make this community in this neighborhood where people are going to gather in the virtual space and then they're going to gather in the physical. None of that exists. But I'm out here. That's what's going to happen. And I was forced to, right? He was like,
Right.
no, I want you to say it. When we got down to the beauty industry, he talked about the beauty industry. You know, my persona, one of my personas is the hair doctor.
Right.
She's the heart and soul of this thing, right? But he started calling out the names of people. One of the people I hadn't spoken to in 5 years. She was simply a sales rep. Like, it wasn't like we were homies.
Yes.
But her name was in that manifesto. And I think 2 Octobers ago, I had COVID, and the Lord said, call her on a Saturday night at 8 p.m. And I hadn't talked to her in 5 years. Well, when I called her, because I was obedient, and I probably
Yes.
was obedient because I was feverish,
Okay.
right? Because normally I would have been like, I'm not doing that. But I did. I called her, and she goes, wow, this is rando. And I go, yeah, I know. And it's random that you answered. I said, but I don't feel good. So I don't have a lot of time for games. I didn't just have the time to play with her. I was like, why am I calling you? That's what I said to her. I'm like, why is God having me call you at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night? And she goes, because I just started working with this new company and blah, 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 blah. And I don't know how to get it launched. And I was like, oh my God, this thing is planned out to the nth degree
Yes.
by the creator of the universe. So at the end of the day, I don't have a choice but to follow what I saw on that paper. And if anybody, you're going to talk to some of the people that are key and central in this building of this arc, they are going to tell you, I haven't left this manifesto. I have stayed the course as hard as it has been. I have felt foolish. I have been broke. My ego has been decimated.
Yes.
I've had to work with people I don't want to. I've had to forgive people I haven't wanted to. I've had to cut people I haven't wanted to. But this wasn't about me. This was God's build project. And I was simply the vessel that he chose to use. So metrics is a bear.
It is. It is absolutely a bear.
It's wild.
Do we want to bring everybody in
I don't know.
on that note?
Yeah, I guess it's been a minute. I think you got everything out
I
that you
think
know
so.
everything you need to know.
I think this is a very good platform for us to bring
Segue?
to
It's a
segue
segue.
into our guests
All right.
and learn more about them.
Well, so what I did, I'm really excited about this. I brought the core of the team. I brought Renee, who's our general, and she manages the SLB Global Brand Division. What's up, Renee? I also have brought to the party Otisha Burial. And Otisha's role, she is the, what's the word I want to use? She is the basically the manager, the unit manager of the metrics team. Metrics team holds everything together in the container and makes sure that we are effective
Yes.
and efficient. You hear what I'm saying? If we ain't effective and we ain't efficient, we ain't doing what God's called us to do. Welcome to the party, Otisha Burial. And last but not least, I have Andre Brown, who I happen to be married to. I
Who
have
you
happened.
happen to be married
Yeah, I
to.
happen to be married to him, but he runs the show, and the show is everything that pertains to making the show come to life, from the music to the logistics to the events working to the shows airing, all of that stuff. And he works alongside really beautifully with producer Ned. So I have my core team here, and obviously Marina is a part of that core. Welcome, family.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, one, for being a part of this team, hearing God and choosing to be obedient. Thank you. And then thank you for giving up your evening to be here with us. Marina, do you want to dive in or do you want me?
Sure, let me dive in.
Okay.
And we'll just go one by one. Renee, we'll start with you. And with everything that Sean has mentioned in the very beginning, of the show and taking us through where we're at right now, can you give us, your sense? Let us get to know a little bit more about you, but even more importantly, why are you here? Why do you feel connected to what we're doing? Renee, you here?
Maybe we're having a little technical difficulty for Renee. So, Renee,
Okay, I'm sorry.
oh,
Oh,
you're
there we go.
fine.
Yeah,
There you
Okay.
go, darling.
some little release popped up and said I couldn't talk until I clicked the yes button. Sorry.
It gave you a minute.
Gave you a minute to
Yeah.
process.
So as I was saying, it was funny that because if it wasn't for you calling Tony in your feverish way, I would have never met you. I met you at one of Tony's classes introducing the product, and that's how I met Sean. So it's just funny how it's lined up to show how everything came, how he put everything together, how the team came together. Um, I guess for me, this whole thing, when she first started talking about it, I was like, what is she talking about? You know,
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
like
Sounds right.
what are you talking about? What are you saying? Like, what are we doing here? And then as I began to just listen to what she was saying and seeing how people came together and what type of people came together and what the true mission is, which is to live well together. You know what I'm saying? So I started to understand where she was coming from. So then, as I started to understand that, I started to understand her and the way that she thinks and how she, processes things and stuff like that. And so, in that way, I became like the keeper of Sean because I understood where she was coming from. When she started to have the meltdown, it was like, no, it's no big deal. You ain't got to do that. I got it. Quit panicking. It's okay. Deep breath. You know, it was like that kind of thing, and so it's been a crazy journey, but it's been life changing. It's been totally life changing for me, and I'm just a part of the live well, change the world, and be happy movement.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
You
absolutely.
know, Renee, I just wanted to say I love you and I'm very proud of you. And right now, you are going through a battle.
Yeah.
do you mind talking a little bit about your battle and how the Live Well community has impacted you?
It's funny because I have stage 4 um, lymph, lymphoma, and I am going through chemo and all that stuff right now. And this all came like out of nowhere, because I'm a vegan. I work out. I eat right. I do all the things that they tell you to do. Yet and still, here I am, you know. And I feel like God's just been preparing me for this. He's been preparing me for this. Like when I met Sean, I was on a spiritual journey. I was looking. I was like, something's got to be better than what I'm doing, you know, because I'm over here just like floundering. So something's got to be better. And so meeting her helped me start my spiritual journey into understanding who I am and who God placed me here to be. And, just seeing my gifts and seeing how God works in me and that kind of thing. If I had not been on that journey, this conversation that we're having right now would not have happened, because I'd be somewhere up under a bed or something like that and not being able to face my world or what's happening or whatever. But instead, I'm here, I'm fighting, this is my chance to sit back and really be able to hear God. Because I used to tell Sean all the time, she goes, God said, da 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 da. I said, well, I don't hear God. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you saying? You hear God. What is he saying? I don't hear God, Sean. So apparently I just don't even know what this is. And she kept saying, no, you hear him. And I was like, I do not. You have whole conversations. Like, who are you talking to? Like, is God my subconscious? Like, I don't understand. So it's just, again, I started to learn and hear what he's saying, and understand the things that he's trying to show me. And, I was always like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to do this, and da 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 da. And then bam, God fixes it, and I'm just like, wow, and it wasn't until one day Sean's like, I don't even know why you're over here doing this, because every time you ask for something, you get it.
Every
Never,
time.
I've known you this whole time, and every time you've asked for something, you got it. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, remember the
Every
day
time.
that you got on Walk on Warriors and you said all of a sudden you had this money in your deposit in your bank account out of nowhere? And I was like, yeah. She's like, right at the time when you needed it? I was like, yeah. Remember you got your car wreck, and what did you say? I just wish they totaled it and I could get me an electric car. What happened? They totaled it. She got an electric car. What, you know? And I'm like, okay, and then like the last thing was like, when I got diagnosed, and I was like, I do not know how I'm going to do this. I don't know. I can't work, and I do hair. So if you don't do hair, you don't make no money. So I was just like, I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't know what I'm going to do. The first thing I thought about is I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to, all these things. And Sean's like, nope, we're going to do this thing and we're going to get you and people are going to help you. And I was like, ain't nobody going to help me. Like in 48 hours, $15,000. And I was like flabbergasted, just absolutely flabbergasted. So you can't tell me nothing God won't do at this point. My testimony has already begun, because you cannot tell me there is no God, because there is no way that I would be sitting here able to do this fight without all that extra stress of how I'm going to live if it wasn't for the Lord.
Woo!
Wow.
Don't you love it? Don't you love it?
Wow.
Don't you love it? Who you want to hear from
Oh my
next? I
gosh.
know. I know. I like the chilies all over my body. Crazy.
um,
Who wants to go after that, right?
it's not who, it's who's called to.
Oh,
Who's
yeah.
called to after that? And I'm hearing Otisha.
That's what I was hearing
I'm
too.
hearing Otisha.
Right.
Hi,
So,
oh.
hey, so I'm glad you heard that because I heard it too. I don't know how I can go behind that, but you know what? The Lord is directing all that we do.
Yeah.
So, um, I actually was introduced to Sean through her hair doc days.
See?
So I saw her on an episode of Good Day Sacramento, and it was just something about it. Like, the hair was bomb. Okay, the hair, the
Yeah.
makeovers were bomb. It was something about her spirit that was just calling. Uh, and I had been looking for somebody to do my hair anyway, so I reached out, scheduled the appointment, and from that first day on, there was this connection that you couldn't explain. Um, she felt safe. Um, and I'm a person who I always have the wall up, okay, because I'm going to keep you at a distance because you can't hurt me if I keep you at a distance.
Yes.
But for some reason, I was automatically drawn to her. The guards were down. I told her some things that I hadn't told anybody. And there was just this mutual, I don't want to say respect. The respect was there, but more so like a mutual love and care.
Mm-hmm.
And so, she did my hair for a while and then she up and left me because how dare she move and put her family in a better place? Like, how dare she? So, we were still connected, but not really because she wasn't doing my hair anymore. And then fast forward some years, and I get a call from out of the blue,
She told me to.
nowhere. And she's like, "Hey, it's Shawnee. Hey, how's it going? Are you back? Are you gonna do my hair now again?" And we just started talking, and she started talking to me about, this business and this dream and what the Lord has put on her heart. And I'm just like, okay, uh-huh, yeah, that sounds, I have no words for how that sounds. And she invited me to join. And not knowing what I did in my real life, because we never really talked about it, but she invited me to join as her operations manager.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that knows me knows that I am very detail oriented, organized.
Yep.
I love clarity. I'm able to keep people accountable. And so it just kind of fit. And even though it fit, I still wanted to say no, but the Holy Spirit said, no, you got to say yes.
Mm.
And I'm not at this point in my journey, I'm not always obedient. So I really wanted to say no.
But you made a decision.
I, I was told that that's what I was going to do. And for some reason, it was so strong of a you have to say yes that I had to say yes. So I always say, the decision was made for me.
Oh.
And through all the years of the back and forth, because you notice she said she's been at this for about 8 years.
Yes.
And I've been there for most of it,
Yes.
quite a bit of it. And so throughout, I always said, like, I can't do this. This is too much. I don't really understand. Like, I want to understand, but I'm not really understanding. Where do I fit in? What do I do next?
Yeah.
Where's my checklist? We got to do A, B, C, D, and she's just like, I don't have that. I don't know yet. We don't have that yet. So I always wanted to quit. And every time I picked up the phone to text or call her to say, hey, Shawnee, I can't take this on. I'm going to back out. Holy Spirit said, no, you're not. You're going to sit.
Wow.
You're going to sit. This is where you're supposed to be. Okay, but I don't know I'm not doing anything. What am I? No, you're going to sit. And fast forward, I realized why he was having me sit and why he was having me stay.
Mm.
Because I am naturally a person who is drawn to helping other people succeed and live life well. But I didn't understand the piece of living life well together.
Mm.
I was always Miss Independent. I
Yes.
don't need anybody. I may have that one friend that I talk to, but I don't have a community. And so, God, what He's showing me is you need a community. In order for you to live life well, you have to do it together. You have to do it with your community. You can't, we're not made to do things on our own. And so you're never going to see the full fruition of what I have for you if you don't stay connected. And so he took me from this closed off, I'm not showing any emotions, I'm not sharing any of my, what, you want me to share my personal life? These, this screen of strangers and walking warriors, you don't know any of these women that's on this little screen that you've never met in your life, in real life, these little boxes. But the work that he did in me through walking warriors,
Hmm.
it is, I cannot ask for anything more. And so I'm here. I believe in the mission. I believe wholeheartedly in the vision. And I understand that I am not going to understand the entire picture because he's going to give us what he wants to give us when he wants to give it to us. And all my piece is to be obedient, be show up as myself
Hmm.
authentically. So no hiding the mask. Like he pulled back the mask. It's showing your emotions because the emotions are okay. You
Yes.
got to catch the emotions, but you got to do it in a way that's out of love
Hmm.
and care and compassion. And so I'm here. I'm here for the long haul, whatever that means. I'm obedient.
Isn't it so
Woo!
awesome?
Thank you, Tisha.
Oh, I love
Wow.
y'all.
Wow. All right. Now we're gonna bring
Dr. Dre,
everybody to Dre, who you
he's my
both
husband.
you both are married for how long?
30, I'm sorry, 29 and 3/4 years.
Thr 29 and 3/4 years.
Yeah, February would be 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I know I only look 27.
That's right. That's
I don't know. Kind of shocking, isn't it?
right. Dre, welcome. And as you're usually behind the scenes here and being the producer, can you give the audience a little bit more of why you're here, what you're drawn to, anything that could give us a window into your world?
Well, you guys got me following the two bishops this morning, and they're giving sermons. But um, I'm here because I was Sean's first client, hair wise, and you see what happened. But jokes.
You're not supposed to laugh.
That hard.
You're so not supposed to laugh.
But I met this young lady 30 something years ago, and she's been this person this whole time. And we were just having a discussion the other day. She asked me if she was a lovable person or if she's a loving person. And I started laughing actually because I was like, every person that you're connected to is going to pretty much say the same thing about what they get from you. And then, of course, Renee and Otisha said the same thing. And Morena, you've said it too. You guys became fast friends 8 years ago when we moved on this block via your husband saying, let's have a party.
That's right.
so,
That's
Hmm.
right.
and so today I'm here because God put me in a position to push the narrative and make. He actually told me the other day to put her on her throne so she could go do what she's supposed to be doing out here. And it's funny, she doesn't know this yet, but her first song drops next Friday night on Spotify and Apple Music. And she's afraid of all this and all these things are not going to happen. But all these things are happening behind the scenes, and she has no clue that they're happening. So this is we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and we're here because of that, because of all these things that are going to unite people. Even on last week's episode of Lessons for the Journey, um, one of her guests was like, "Man, that's a catchy little tune. I'm gonna put it on my show so I can play it in my videos, so I can do this and that." And I'm just sitting here, I was like, she doesn't see it because it's hard work and she's been grinding at it for 8 years, but everybody else can see it, and that's why everybody else is here, and that's definitely why I'm here.
I'm gonna cry.
I know. I was about
Like
to
I'm
say,
shocked.
can I take a moment? So I know you could see from the camera, but from my angle, Sean, can you just walk us through as transparent and as honest as you can be in this moment right now, because this is authentically you in this moment.
I I did everything out of obedience, just sheer obedience, and I didn't know how things were going to happen and how they were going to come to fruition. And it's all been so hard. And I'm used to, okay, this is what we're going to do. Put the steps in order, go do the
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
execute. Put the
Yeah.
steps in order, go do the thing, execute it. This has not been that.
Right.
It's been do the thing, wait. Oh, that's horrible. Do it again. Do the
Yeah.
thing, wait, wait, wait. So I guess hearing him say, hearing him say that my song is going to be released next Friday. It's real.
Yes.
It just became
Yeah.
real and it wasn't real. And you're
I
crying
am.
too.
My eyes are tearing up.
Because, you're fighting and you're fighting and you're fighting and you're fighting. And the enemy is like, you suck, you can't do it. Can I have tissue? Thank you, producer Nettie. The enemy is like, you suck, you can't do it, you should just quit, you should just go back to work, go back to doing what you do. And God's like, no, you can't go to work, you can't earn money in the traditional way, you got to learn to trust me. And I know that these projects, methods, I know they work. I know I've seen them work on Renee. Tisha just finished 3 days of prayer this morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know they work. Dre finished 3 days of prayer last week. They go through Walking Warriors. You finished 3 days of prayer. This isn't a joke for me, right? So to see them working, these methods working in my family, and now they're going to get to go to the world. I don't. I know I need money to live, right? I need money to live, and I need money to do these things, and God's going to give me a lot of it, right? And I know He is because He can trust me with it. But that's not my motive. My motive is literally to see little kids running around free and being able to be kids.
Yes.
Mothers being able to be mothers and women and feel safe.
Yes.
Fathers being able to step into their role. I just want to see people pursuing their God given talent. So it's moving. The train is moving. So, yeah, that's the tears, I think.
Yeah. Not only that, but we up to this point, we've talked about all these things, and about the vision, the mission, the origin of it all. And Sean, you've brought in, I don't know how you find everybody.
They find me.
So I'm going to take a step back, because Sean and I have known each other for about 8 years.
Yeah.
And we've been talking on and off, about the organization and what we're each driven to do, what we're hearing. For every time I talk to you, there's always somebody that you find that is a puzzle piece to how this is all going to work together, not only as a picture, but a 3D image, but how this is going to manifest, throughout. And Renee, Otisha, Dre, we're all part of that as well. But every time I talk to you, you're like, I found this person. I found this person. and
Just
and
go.
everybody's drawn to the same things that Renee mentioned before. Otisha has also mentioned, Dre as well, as how we just all want to live well
Well.
in this world while we're here on earth together, and using the talents of what God has given all of us, and to do that all together cohesively, and to not only work through the wounds that were presented upon us
Yeah.
from the early days, and how we need to look at them, heal them, but do them on God's time.
God's timing. You kept saying that in the last couple of weeks. You were saying, it's timing, it's timing,
It's
it's
timing.
timing, it's timing, and it is timing. But when you have core wounds, and I love that metrics and core wounds really do go together, because the enemy is after your metrics. He's literally after it. So he's filling you with every possible scenario to make you believe that what God said is a lie. So the pressing into the metrics is the work that's the work I've been experiencing. I heard what he said. I know what I'm supposed to do, but that metric is so far from my lived reality that the only way I'm going to get there is by faith. It's the only way. So, I want to say this. I pray that this 11-night masterclass series inspires the world to go be themselves. But what I want the world to know, as you pursue being yourself, it comes with challenges. It comes with extreme challenges, because there is an enemy that is after your destiny. So as much as God wants you walking in it, the enemy wants you not walking in it. And so it's a pressing into and a fighting against the resistance to come out the other side. So the tears are because I am literally coming out the other side, and I know it. I know it. I can
Yes,
feel it. I know it.
it's
I
amazing.
think you should give the audience the Zioni rules that you live by.
Well, they're new, so I gotta read them. But it's interesting because Securely Loved Beings, SLB is my initials, but the organization is Securely Loved Beings. And so we had a new grandson in August, on August 4th, so he's 3 months old. And what Andre said the other day was, I don't treat you the way I treat Zioni. I don't love you the
Okay.
way I love Zioni. I don't respond to your needs that way. And he said, if we all treated each other the way we treat Z, the world would be beautiful, because you're looking out for the other person's
Yes.
best interest. So let me give you, I'm one of those people. You give me a platform to make. I'm gonna make a platform. So listen to the Zioni rules, and we call them the Z rules, the Z code of conduct. And I'll just give you the core. This is the ethics of the Z rules.
Okay.
We act with integrity, not manipulation. Now, see, when we live in survival mode, manipulation drives the bus, because you're always, whether that is spiritual manipulation, emotional manipulation, mental manipulation, physical, relational, it's manipulation. So in the Z rules, we come out right out the gate. We act with integrity. The inner me has to be in alignment so that the outer me will express authenticity. We choose compassion over condemnation. The Bible says, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry.
Yes.
We have a really difficult time at understanding each other. We are all in the same boat. Every single human on the planet has a core wound, if not multiple. And our core wounds, unaddressed and undealt with, cause us to react in ways that are harmful and detrimental to each other because we're trying to get our core wounds and needs met. So we make a choice right out the gate to choose compassion over condemnation, to try to understand each other rather than, you're not meeting my need. We value diversity as divine design. We are all made in the image of God. Yellow, white, brown, blue, all God made all of his children. All the ethnicities, all the regions, we're all God's people. And when you put us all together, that's what I love about the cul-de-sac crew.
Yes.
It is every kind of nationality. We all have a blast. People come from all over just to be at the
Yeah.
cul-de-sac crew events because we value diversity as a divine design. God created us and he's proud of every one of us. Every single human, 9.5 billion people, are all divinely made. We resolve conflict through truth and reconciliation. Conflict is unavoidable. It's absolutely unavoidable.
Right.
So when there's conflict, there has to be a conflict resolution plan. So right out the gate, we seek understanding. Right out the gate, we're seeking to resolve the conflict, not create gossip, not create strife, not to exacerbate it, but right away there's a cut. Let's address the wound.
Right. Okay.
We practice servant leadership following Christ's model. Colossians 3. It's the flag, it's the foundation of this organization. Live like Christ. He is your life. So we strive to be that model. Christ never said, did anything that was harmful or detrimental. He told the truth, and the truth might hurt the areas in which you want to stay the same.
Right.
But when you really want to grow, the truth doesn't hurt. We protect the vulnerable and uplift the voiceless. This is a big deal to me because our initiatives for foster children, to resolve them and to restore them, our initiatives for single mom support services, our initiatives to build sustainable cities and to educate youth, that's all birthed out of protecting the vulnerable and uplifting the voiceless. We're here to help women who have been narcissistically abused, who have lost their voices and don't understand that God made them not to be under a man's foot, but to walk alongside in partnership. We're created to do great things in the earth together. So the voiceless has to have a voice. I struggled with my voice. We build trust, not platforms. And this making the brand situation, the making the brand platform has been probably the bane of my existence. It is the thing that literally, she was like, you have to do it. You don't have a choice. I was like, I don't want to. I don't want to build brands. I don't want to build brands. But he wasn't asking me to make these pretty logos. He
Correct.
was asking me to help brands, people, be exactly what they were created to be, reconcile their problems and pain points, and deliver products that change the world, that help people be themselves. So the building the platforms, building trust, not platforms, it's about the building the relationships because in order for us to work with these brands, we go through
Yes.
painstaking efforts
Right.
to build them from the inside out so that what they are giving you, the products they produce, are real, holistic from the inside out,
Authentic.
authentic. So when a
Authentic.
platform does come, first we built the trust in that brand so that the platform is sustainable and it's the truth. And then lastly, we hold one another accountable with grace and love.
Yeah.
So what you saw in the opening of this show tonight, you held me accountable.
Mm-hmm.
You were able to tell me, and I saw you.
Yes.
You weren't honest with me about what I was seeing, but I saw you. Do you know how important it is to be seen? It's everything. Because when a person is seen, they can have that bad day.
Right.
They're safe to be seen and they're safe to change. They're safe to make a different choice. So, the Z code is a big deal because it is the earnest heart of the SLB Global brand family.
Absolutely.
All because of my little grandson. And he's so cute, y'all. We're almost running out of time.
Yeah.
But I really want to ask, I gave I shared with you the areas of this organization, and I shared it with the word starting with my life is.
Yep.
My life is.
Yes.
So I'm going to run through the 13 areas of my life. My life is a business. My life is a game. My life is a book. My life is a soundtrack. It's a community. It's a neighborhood, a network, a movement, a mission, a family, a show. I'm going to go back to Renee, if you don't mind.
Yes. Let's do
Renee,
that.
of those areas, those 13 areas, which one speaks to you most and which one do I need to address for you?
Um, well, the network.
The network. My life is a network because I believe in networking, connecting people. When I tell you that the beauty industry is the heart and soul of every community, it's because it's where connection happens. I was watching a movie the other night and the person said, "Hey, I need you to take me to the hottest salon in town because that's where everybody who's in the know goes." That is the truth. So the beauty industry is the heart of our network, but we also partnered with other networking organizations that are destined to unite and change the world, and they have different areas of interest. So we don't
Yes.
believe in competition, it is collaboration. And the network in the areas will empower the entrepreneur so that the entrepreneur can empower the consumer. It's about
Absolutely.
the network and the connection. Thank
Yes.
you, Renee. Did I answer that?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Tisha, which area?
So you mentioned both community and neighborhood. Can you tell me what's the difference between those two?
Oh, it's so good. So, Shawneeville is the global community. And in that global community, it is an area, it is I guess it's the basis, it's the beginning of where community happens. It's like a community center where there's classes and courses. Well, when we get into the neighborhood, my brands won't just be influencers. They are going to become, you're going to see the brands become their own neighborhoods within Shawneeville. So you're going to see Pastor B become a neighborhood. And within her neighborhood, she's going to be bringing her influencers, coaches, collaborators, teachers, trainers, events. The neighborhood brings everything. Everything is happening in the neighborhood. Where in the community, the focus is the education and the network and connect. Did that answer the question?
It did. Thank you.
Absolutely. Lastly, Dre, what do you want to know about?
The show.
My life is a show. And so what's crazy, it's unscripted, it's unfiltered. I've never seen a real reality show where we just turn it on, we turn on the camera and we just go. We don't worry about
There's no
a
script.
script. We don't
Yeah.
worry about in that it's literally my calendar is the production schedule.
Yep.
I have meetings, segments. I have full on 30, 45-minute hour shows. My whole life is actually a media network. And these different segments and shows make up my life, which has become a full on show.
Yep.
And I treat it like that. I
Yeah.
really treat it like that. I treat it like I treat the enterprise like I'm watching The Office. You're getting to go inside and see the inner workings of the business and how we put it together. I treat my personal, right? When you
Mm-hmm.
get into meeting my friends and talking to me, pretty soon you're going to see me in my Wednesday rants where I get to just unload and unpack what's happening in the week. But they're what I call media lane. The show has what's called media lane. And within that media lane, I think by January there'll be think 13 to 14 new media products. So, yeah, my life is a show. And what God said is, I am my own media container.
Yep.
So I don't need to worry about anything. Just go make the content and go.
Yeah.
My life is the show. Did I answer well?
Yes, ma'am, you did.
So, Maureen, I think we've come to the close of this
I
episode.
think we have.
Do I get to close or are you closing?
You know, you need to close it.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for giving me 4 nights. I know how you love being in front of the camera.
She's laughing because this makes my skin crawl
She hates
wholeheartedly.
Why did you do it?
Because I heard
Like Otisha.
like Otisha.
You knew you were supposed to.
It was in my gut too. It was in my gut.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you for your obedience because I know you hate this. But I also want to say there's a whole hair light and above your head in these last couple episodes, and I just must say that your chocolate is chocolating.
Gee, who do I have to thank for that?
I don't know.
This beautiful woman
Could
over
it
here.
be the hair doctor?
It is the hair doctor.
It's the hair doctor. Well, your hair looks beautiful. And I want to thank you guys for doing the Making the Brand Blueprint series. This is the first part of the 11 nights, and we made it through. Guess where we're going next? Now we're going to unpack them 7 keys, baby. And every week in the masterclass, I'll have 5 people sitting in those little squares. I'll have myself sitting in a seat, and I'm going to have a co-host. And we're going to unpack the 7 keys. We're going to inspire you to want to live well and live well together. And the only way we can do that is to help you understand, master, manage, and understand those 7 keys. So I hope you will come back here next Sunday night at 7 p.m. for Lessons from the Journey, the masterclass. We're stepping into the 7 keys. Enjoy your Sunday night. I'll see you next week. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let's go. Get on your mark, let's go. What you waiting for? There's so much more. The future's yours. Let go, explore. It's yours for sure. Same with me with fear. So to God I stay near. I keep my hand to the plow. There's no turning back now. My future look bleak. I decided to see. He said follow me. On a journey you'll see. Get on your mark, let's go. What you waiting for? There's so much more.